Hello everyone, Loserkiller here, and today it's time for the 9th video in my Abyss MOC series, and today's MOC is called Skoghiarr, and is a gang member. In fact, he's the gang leader of the Hard Eater. So it's a gang which is mainly made out of bulky individuals, so like strong individuals, big ones, and stuff like that. So that said, Skoghiarr has some parts of his body inspired by another MOC which was created by Biomaster in 2008 and which was called Skoghiarr. So it mostly takes inspiration for the head part and the arms part. And obviously, I will mention that when we come to this part in particular. That said, let's start with the body itself. So one thing I took from Skoghiarr was the use of Inika body part, so this dark gray part, and also the Vaki pelvis part. So as you can see, these two pieces are linked together, but that was what was in the original creation, just these two parts. So there's ball joint for the legs and there's ball joint for the arms. But personally, for Skoghiarr, I wanted a bulkier MOC, a bigger one. So that's why I decided to add a second Vaki waist part on the bottom, and I decided to link it to the first Vaki waist pieces. So both of them are linked thanks to some connectors on the side and some technique beams up on the upper side and on the back side. So with that said, I'm going to add some piece of armor. Notice the two baroque feet which are used to make a triangle-shaped torso, so like that and like that. Going to add some technique panels to cover this part of the body. And also one thing interesting about this creation, well, first the color scheme. The color scheme is mostly black, dark metal, light brown, and also dark gray. And also this MOC, well, one of its main kind of like gimmick is that is quite bulky and big, but also it's the fact that is asymmetrical, meaning that the left side and the right side are not identical in terms of details and in terms of how some parts are made. And first, it begins the color scheme. In fact, the right side will only be black and in black and dark metal, whereas the left side will also add some dark gray colors and some light brown colors. And as you can see, for the torso, on one side you will have a Wakshi head, and on the other side you will have a Toa Nuva armor. Also notice the spikes here and well there, which are kind of like exclusive to the right side. You will not see any of them on the left side. Now I'm going to talk quickly about the back of the character. So you can see I'm going to use 3 big black parts to cover the back. Also going to add a Wakshi's back here, and also some parts like that, which are kind of like roads, and I decided to put there to do kind of like when you go on a construction site and you have the building which are not yet finished, you see some steel rods coming out of the walls to make the walls stand better, if I can say so. So that was where I took my inspiration from, the 2 rods on the back. Now it's time to add the head. So the head was also inspired by the Skoghiarr MOC because it also used Ordika head. It was a Wenua's one, but I chose Onewa's for this creation. And it also used these 2 horns on the side. Once again, I remind you that in the video description you will find a link to the gallery picture of Skoghiarr. So if you want to see more poses and better picture quality, you can go on there, and you will also have a link for the Skoghiarr picture gallery. So if you want to see the MOC which I took inspiration from, you can go there and see what I change, what I choose, what I take, and stuff like that. So that said, we are done with the body, as you can see. So it's quite bulky, and now it's time to move on to the arms. So the arms. Another thing I took inspiration from are this part of the arms, as you can see, which are made in a custom way, if I can say so, because we're going to use the connector and then add some other part and add, as you can see, a Titan connector. So this one right here. And with that, we're going to make an arm. So I added some more pieces of armor, as you can see, on both sides. And with that said, it's time to finish the left arm with this big part. Once again, I took inspiration from the Biomaster's MOC, because he also used an old, as you can see, older body to make one part of the arm. So I think the idea was quite cool. So I took inspiration from that. And here you go. And you have the claw, as you can see, at the end of the arm. And also, in terms of articulation, it's moved just up to this point. So it's not up to 90 degrees, which is not really good. And the claws, well, as you can see, each part can move independently from each other. And now it's time to move on to the right arm, And the right arm, like I mentioned earlier, is quite different. So first, obviously, you have the color schemes. There is no brown or dark gray here. Well, apart from some small parts in dark gray, but apart from that, that's all. And as you can see also, whereas this side was empty, because I had to let it empty because this part had to go there. Well, this time it's not the case, so I added a Baroque sheet. Also notice the little spikes, which was not here before. And also you can see the arm is completely different because it's not a Toa body this time, but it's a simple arm with some armors added on it to make it, once again, bigger. Like that. Okay? So, that said, I think, yes, we're going to add these two parts to our body. So just going to add some tires. And so you might want to know that this MOC was the first MOC I created for the Abyss MOC series. It was really the first one that I made. And in fact, I think it's one of the most, it's one of the more complicated MOC. Because even if I took some inspiration from Biomaster's MOC, I already added a lot of little details and stuff like that. So I already took some liberties with his original frame, and I think that's quite interesting to notice. For example, in comparison to Jazz, which was another MOC I showed you in this series, which was really close to the original MOC I took inspiration from. Here it's a little different. So it's time to move on to the legs, and first with a double-sided connector, as you can see, is a custom one, because I'm just going to use two simple connectors and then link them or attach them together. And I'm going to attach them in a kind of like a specific way, because first off, they will be linked thanks to this part right there, so here and there. As you can see, you also have a part here which is going to link this part to a 2-meter foot. This 2-meter foot is linked both with this connector and also to this, Baroque foot. This Baroque foot is then linked to this connector, meaning that you have a 3-point way connection, if I can say so, where you have 3 strong connection on this part. Also notice that the armor is just linked with a stud, like that. Okay? And I'm just going to add this part to cover the inside and to make the, as you can see, to make a better looking tie. So now it's time to move on. So you can see I'm going to use once again some tire right there, and also I'm going to add this part. So an H-shaped technique piece, which I'm going to attach 2 parts like that and this big part here, which was used first in a Poitou Fantoka released in 2008. And finally, for the fit, I took direct inspiration from the official Bionicle set Kitongo. So it's the same kind of fit with, as you can see, kind of like triangle shaped. So they are quite, it's a nice way to make some bigger, bulkier fit. And it's quite simple too, so that's why it's interesting. And as you can see, no, my leg is finished. So, with that said, I'm going to attach both legs. I'm going to talk about the articulation first, because the weapon is also really heavy, so it's better that I talk about the articulation right now. So for the legs, well, first let me just adjust the focus of the webcam right here. So yes, the legs first. So the legs can move up to this point, there is no big problems, maybe except for the panels here, which sometimes blocks, and also this part, which as you can see, is not held in a really strong way, so it might fall off easily sometimes, still. This part turned a little less than 90 degrees, and I think the worst is the foot, because you can see, it can't really turn back, it can't really turn right here, but it can move up, or in the front, excuse me, it can move onwards, and not only backwards, and on the sides. Okay, now sit. So, you have then the arm. So, like I said, in terms for the shoulders, there is no problem. For the elbows, like I mentioned, this part is, well, not really interesting in terms of articulation. This part is a little better, as you can see, because you can move it up to 90 degrees and a little more. And the head can move on the sides, down, and a little, just a little up, like that. Okay, so that said, it's time to move on to the weapon. So the weapon, I wanted to make a huge hammer, so that's what I made. So as you can see, some other tires, this part right there, and the main part of the hammer is made with, well, two, as you can see, two Toa Inika body frame, torso armor, excuse me. So two Toa Inika torso armor, yeah, which kind of like, and in between these two big parts, so on both sides, you will have four Toa Inika feet, excuse me, Toa Inika feet. So two here and two there. I'm going to add some system pieces, some ecosystem pieces in there to fill the hole, if I can say so, and I'm going to put the part like that. Finally, I'm going to cover the upper part of my hammer like that. And we are done here. So, that said, I'm going to attach the hammer. Okay. So give me just 2 seconds. Okay. And well, Skoghiarr is now finished. So let me just move the camera a little upwards like that. And well, Skoghiarr is finished. So I'm going to do a turnaround, then put him in a pose, and I think that will be all for Skoghiarr. So yes, like that. I wonder if we can see well with just the natural light. Yes, not really that much. The sun is not very strong today, I guess. Or it's not shiny enough. So, yeah. And I think that's all for Skoghiarr, because we talk about the articulation. So I'm just going to put him in a pose. And yes, in terms of background, so I might have already mentioned it, but Skoghiarr was, like I said, the first MOC I created in the Abyss MOC series. In terms of storyline, Skoghiarr is the gang leader of the Hard Eaters. So like I said, a gang which is mainly made out of well, strong individuals, really bulky one, which all have raw strength. And also, it's interesting to note that the Hard Eaters is the gang which, in fact, attacked the village of Naikan. So that's the gang which attacked his village and which will make Naikan go on a rampage against, well, first of this gang, which he want to take revenge for all his friends killed and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's an important gang this time, because it's really the one that is going to attack the Naikan village, and that's the one that Naikan is going to go after first. And then obviously, when he will discover that there is other gangs around him, and he will try to chase them all, but the first one will be this one. And obviously it will be very personal. So, I think, yes, we are done. So, that's all for this video. If you want my opinion on my on MOC, well, let's just say that I'm quite happy with this creation because even if in terms of articulations it's not the best, I really had a lot of fun to in making all the little details on his body, making both parts, well, each side different from the other. So I really had a lot of fun making Skoghiarr, and I think it looks quite good, even if it's not the best in terms of articulations. So, that said, hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask them. And that said, well, see you later for the 10th and final video in our first, the final video in our first wave of Abyss in the Abyss MOC series. And that's all. So hopefully see you soon and bye-bye.